With so much time, effort, and passion poured into preparations for the 2021 Concacaf Futsal Championship, the last thing any team wants to do is leave empty-handed. The bronze medal on the line this afternoon as Panama faces Guatemala in the third-place match. From Domo Polideportivo on the final day of the tournament, I'm Joe Malfa, once again very excited to be bringing you the action. Later on, we crown a champion, but first we determine who joins Costa Rica and the United States on the medal stand. It's been a long road here this week, and we finally reached the destination. You see the final bracket, United States and Costa Rica, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, battle for the title. Coming up right now, Guatemala and Panama. It's a fair question to ask, what is the motivation in this match? Both of these teams have already qualified for the World Cup. They're not competing for a championship, but it's so much more than that. Two teams that are rivals in CONCACAF, so much pride on the line. As I mentioned before, in any tournament like this, the last thing you want to do is leave empty-handed. It's not a far travel back to Panama for this team, but it would feel that much longer if they have to do it without the bronze medals around their necks. Guatemala, well, they're home anyway, but they would like to go back to their homes and celebrate with medal in hand. Teams are in the tunnel, just about set to take the field. Guatemala fell last night in penalties in the 7th round against the United States. And Panama, they had a 1-0 lead on Costa Rica with 10 minutes to play, but that quickly turned. Costa Rica scored 3 goals in 3 minutes and never looked back. Two teams that were on the verge of playing each other today, perhaps in the title game, but they do so instead in the third-place match. Guatemala yesterday took a quick lead in the second extra time, but then conceded to the United States about a minute later, and again it went on to lose in penalties. Panama capitalized late in the first half against Costa Rica on a kick from 10 meters away after foul accumulation, but they were unable to make the lead stick. Teams are set to take the field. I will step away for a moment and rejoin after their respective national anthems are played here in the third-place match at Domo Polideportivo.
Solicitamos ponerse de pie para el himno nacional de Panamá, seguido por el himno nacional de Guatemala.
dale, 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 muchachos, dale. Dale, Panamá, dale, Panamá.
Guatemala feliz que usar, no profane jamás el deber. Y hay esclavos que la aman en tú, y tiranos que escupan tu faz. Si mañana tu suelo sagrado lo amenaza invasión extranjera, ayer con tu hermosa bandera, a vencer o a morir amarás. Y ayer con tu hermosa bandera, a vencer o a morir amarás. Que tu pueblo coma y bandera, aunque Panama, Guatemala set to battle in the third place match. The captains meet for the coin toss. Edgar Rivas, the captain for Panama. Edgar Santizo, the captain for Guatemala. Geraldine Araya gets the coin toss underway. Panama today in their all reds. Guatemala in their whites. One of these teams will finish on the medal stand with Costa Rica and the United States. The other leaves empty-handed as far as hardware, but does still have a ticket to the World Cup later this year. The starting lineup for Panama: Jaime Peñalosa, Oscar Hinks, Nagdiel Del Rosario, Edgar Rivas, and Abdiel Ortiz. The usual characters out there for Jose Botana, as we've come to know over the last week. And for Guatemala, Jose Reyes, Edgar Santizo, Jose Mancia, Roberto Alvarado, and Wanderlei Ruiz. A couple of changes from the starters that we've seen, but Guatemala rotating guys in and out very frequently under the tutelage of Jaime De Leon. Panama ranked 29th in the world rankings. Guatemala 36th. Panama had a chance to continue a trend in their favor this tournament. In each of the last few editions, they've finished one spot better than the last. They came in 5th, then 4th, then 3rd, then last time they were the runners-up. That pattern will not continue for them, but they hope to allow Guatemala to continue their pattern, because their pattern's going the other way. Guatemala won in 08. They came in 2nd the tournament after that, 3rd last time around, and a Panama win would keep Guatemala's pattern going by having them finish in 4th place. Just about set to begin at Domo Polideportivo. Second to last game of the 2021 Concacaf Futsal Championship. 3rd place on the line between Guatemala and Panama. Away we go. In an alternate universe, these teams were playing today, but in the second game of the day, both teams squandered leads in the semifinal. Panama up 1-0 with 10 to play against Costa Rica, lost 3-1. Guatemala took a lead early in the second extra time against the United States and gave it right back a minute later, losing in the 7th round of penalties. Panama had a chance for redemption against Costa Rica after the Ticos eliminated them in the semis of 2012 and beat them in the title game of 2016. But not to be the case. Guatemala had a chance for redemption against Costa Rica as well had they have gone through to the final. It would have been a rematch of the 2012 championship game. Either Panama or Panama or Guatemala have been in each of the last 3 third-place matches. This is the first time they are squaring off in the third-place game. Wanderlei Ruiz had an assist yesterday. Set to get it back into play from the corner. Ruiz chips it to the backside. Roberto Alvarado could not handle it. Ortiz made the run, and it's out wide instead for Rivas. Back for Hinks. Now it's with Ortiz. Del Rosario. Hinks forward to Ortiz again. Giveaway. Alvarado shot. Early lead for Guatemala. Disaster at the back for Panama. And Guatemala takes the early lead. Third goal of the tournament for Roberto Alvarado. Not an easy finish either. Sliding. Pokes it to the far post and in. It's been a tournament to remember for the 23-year-old winger who is sure to factor into this side going forward. Not only in the World Cup, but in this tournament in years to come. He's performed at his best for Guatemala in the biggest moments so far, Roberto Alvarado. He scored to tie things up with 34 seconds left in the quarterfinal matchup against El Salvador. Scored in extra time of that match to give them a lead. They would give up that lead, but then in penalties, the decisive kick was scored by Roberto Alvarado. Now Guatemala forced to defend. Indirect kick. Rivas standing over it. Rivas hammers it. Doesn't take a touch. He started celebrating. He thought it took a deflection. It did not. Indirect kick. Had to take a second touch before it went in. Take a second look. Does not appear to have taken a touch. He tried to sell it with a celebration, but the referees would not buy it. Down in the corner. Out in favor of Guatemala. Jaime Peñalosa back in goal for Panama. Jaime Ladonio got the start in the semifinal matchup. Giveaway taken by Panama. Going the other way. Del Rosario has it dispossessed by Jose Ale. Panama was the lone team among the Final Four who had not yet won this tournament. They were hoping to change that. They have once before finished in third place. That was in 2012. Their best finish, runners-up in 2016. Guatemala won it all in 2008, runners-up in 2012, and they came in third place back in 2016. We haven't seen him out there yet for Panama, but Carlos Perez with 7 goals, currently is the Golden Boot leader in this tournament. Scored 3 goals against Suriname, 3 against Mexico, and 1 against Costa Rica. 4 of his 7 goals have come from 10 meters away after foul accumulation by the opposition. We haven't seen that pop up a ton throughout the tournament, but anytime it has popped up, it has seemingly been against Panama. They're a physical team. They've done a good job of drawing fouls. Today, at the end of this tournament as well, the fitness of these teams being tested. A 5th game in 7 days for both of these sides. Sent down into space, but Marvin Sandoval unable to corral it. That fitness is something that will be tested later on as well. United States against Costa Rica, 8 o'clock in the title game. The U.S. has played an extra game than the other 3 teams you will see today, Panama, Guatemala, and Costa Rica, because they were in the lone group that had 4 teams, the United States. So they played a 3rd group match instead of having an extra off day. So while Panama, Guatemala, and Costa Rica played their 5th game in 7 days today, for the U.S., it's a 6th in 7 games. 6th in 7 days, excuse me. And they'll be without Tomas Pondeca, who picked up a very late red card last night in the semifinal matchup. Sandoval flicked on by Alvarado. Enriquez unable to get there. Milord forward. Campos couldn't take it down. Aparicio wanted him to just leave it as he was streaking towards the corner. Deflected out for a kick-in. Panama has qualified for their 3rd straight World Cup appearance. They made the knockout stage in 2012, hoping to build upon that later this year in Lithuania. For Guatemala, a 4th consecutive appearance. They've yet to advance out of the group stage. Aparicio to get it back into play. He leaves it. And it's sent all the way across by Milord. Roberto Alvarado, the difference so far. Scoring very early in this match on a giveaway by Panama. Neither goalkeeper has had to make a save yet. The only opportunity so far was the conversion by Alvarado. He's with it now. Has help from Santizo, but goes all the way across to Ruiz. Shorter bench today for Guatemala as well. More on that in a second, as McKenzie lays it off, and it's blocked. Back to McKenzie. Tapped out wide, shot is saved. Or perhaps just wide of Jose Reyes. Yeah, just wide of Jose Reyes. Alvarado is down holding his head. Alan Aguilar and Jonathan Arevalo, the 2 players not available for Guatemala today. Aguilar, the team captain. Arevalo has been a vital piece as well. And Alvarado, you see there on second look, his head just slammed off the ground. Hope he is all right to continue. An already short bench, or shorter bench, for Guatemala. Just 6 outfield players on the bench, as opposed to 8. But Guatemala staked to an early lead here in the 3rd place match. Guatemala beat Cuba 3-2 in the 3rd place match 5 years ago in the 2016 tournament. The only other time they had been in the 3rd place match, all the way back in 1996, they lost to Mexico 3-1. And the first foul of the match. Dean Humes in the mix. Stepped on the ankle of Ruman Milord. Panama was in the 3rd place game back in 2008. They lost to the U.S. 7-1. And they beat Mexico in the 3rd place match in 2012, 6-4 in extra time. Mackenzie looking at Milord, who was up and all right after that foul. Humes running out for it and just cleared by Peñalosa. Curious to see as this game goes along how frequently Guatemala cycles through substitutes. In the first few games of the tournament, it seemed to be maybe every 2 to 3 minutes roughly that they would not just swap a guy or two, they would swap all 4. But already with 2 players missing, and now the health in question of Roberto Alvarado after he hit his head on the ground, you wonder what that does to their rotation. Peñalosa, the shot coming up. It's blocked, and now he has to retreat into goal. Heavy pressure from Mancia. Peñalosa back in the goal now. Aparicio fighting against Santizo. Campos now battling with Humes. Milord finally gets into some space for Panama. Nice little move, but it's taken away. Wanderlei Ruiz outside for Mancia. Mancia's shot is into the wrong side of the netting. And he immediately goes down in a heap, grabbing his left leg after he takes the shot. Mancia tied for the squad lead coming into the day with Alan Aguilar, who, as I mentioned, is the captain and is not dressed today. Roberto Alvarado has now joined the mix with 3 goals. He left injured a few moments ago. And now Mancia, with 3 goals in this tournament, is down on the ground injured. War of attrition here at the end of the week. It's always scary when it's non-contact like that. The plant leg on his shot. He's got an ice pack in there already. Walking very gingerly with the help of trainers all the way around to the Guatemalan bench. What will this do to the complexion of this match? A lead for Guatemala, but throughout the tournament, they haven't appeared the fittest of the teams. Not an advantage they've really enjoyed in any of their matches. And on top of that, now entering today with 2 fewer players, and now 2 already have left this game injured. We have yet to see Alvarado check back in. And on the bottom of your screen, you see Mancia still gingerly trotting over to the sideline. If those players are unable to return, Mancia and Alvarado, that would put Guatemala down 4 players. Mancia takes a seat now on the bench. Give away. Gonzalez taken back by Campos. Ortiz back for McKenzie. Gonzalez persistent. Working on McKenzie and now knocked out by Sandoval. Ortiz. Out wide for Milord. Enriquez and Gonzalez. The other way. Enriquez can't find it. Castrillon knocked it back inadvertently to Peñalosa, so able to pick it up was the goalkeeper. Players collide. A free kick coming for Panama. Third place match at Domo Polideportivo in Guatemala City. Joe Malfa with you for today's action. Not done after this one. The championship game coming up at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Coverage begins at 7:50 p.m. Eastern Time. Opportunity on the free kick for Panama. Ortiz, shot blocked. Still with it. Ortiz sets it up again, tees it off for Castrillon, and he puts it over the bar. Opportunity gone by the wayside for Panama. Guatemala still clinging to a 1-0 lead. Trying to see on the bench what the situation is. Alvarado has checked back in. That's a good sign for Guatemala. Mancia still has the ice pack on the leg, sitting on one of the chairs on the bench. But Alvarado back out there, the goal scorer in this one, with 3 overall on the tournament. McKenzie, 9 minutes into this one. Ortiz pulls it past 2 defenders, and it's knocked out for a corner. Quickly taken, flicked on by Castrillon, but saved on the back end by Jose Reyes. Campagnac fighting for it against Ortiz, sliding in McKenzie to knock it out for a kick-in. Giveaway. Ortiz dispossessed by Ruiz. Player down, McKenzie in serious pain. Players going down left and right for both of these teams. You see him gesturing toward a spot on the floor. You wonder if he slipped on a wet spot. As we take another look, nobody around. McKenzie just slipped. Over to the bench on his own power. Back to the action. Castrillon turns through. Gonzalez back to Reyes. And he just clears it out with Castrillon sprinting right towards him. Rivas. Left it for Castrillon. It's blocked out for a corner. Back for Hinks. Ortiz. Pressured by Campagnac. Castrillon back to Ortiz. Hinks. Panama trying to get that goal back. They've been on the front foot ever since they conceded. Knocked out again for a kick in. Campagnac over there defending. He missed the penalty in the 7th round last night for Guatemala. That gave the U.S. an opportunity to win it. Eduardo Buenfield would convert, and that takes a deflection. It appeared on the way in, but it's out. And Reyes will get it back into play. Giveaway again. Enriquez across for Gonzalez. He stumbles on the ball. Castrillon takes it. 2-on-1 the other way, but he wastes the opportunity. Had Ortiz streaking down the right wing. Put way too much on the pass. Some shots that have gone wide and have gone high. The goalkeeper is fairly quiet so far. By my count, 2 saves for Jose Reyes. None yet made by Jaime Peñalosa. Conceding early to Roberto Alvarado. Changes coming for Panama. For now it's Gonzalez. Back for Enriquez. Taken away again for the moment by Ortiz, Castrillon. But a heavy touch took it right into the path of the goalkeeper. Aparicio lays it off. Milord taken down. Foul called. Free kick coming. Nice move with the step over from Milord, and he baits Jose Ale into committing the foul. Castrillon stands over it. Alvarado and Campagnac out there as well for Guatemala, standing in front as Jose Reyes gets set to prepare his wall. Castrillon moved the ball slightly. Guatemala unhappy with that, but ready to go. Castrillon approaches the shot, takes a deflection, and it's saved by Jose Reyes. Knocked off the leg of one of his teammates in the wall, but Jose Reyes up to the challenge. All the way down to Peñalosa, who made a couple of saves early in the opening group stage against Suriname for Panama. Left that match injured just a few minutes into it. Jaime Lodonio took over. And now Peñalosa back out there for Panama. Aparicio pressures. But Guatemala gets out of it towards Alvarado, but cleared by Aparicio. Aparicio will turn 20 years old in 3 days. One of the young bright spots for Panama. Ruiz. Back for Santizo, wearing the armband today in the absence of Alan Aguilar, who had been vital for Guatemala in the previous matches. Hinks to Aparicio. Back to Hinks again. Inside, heavy touch from Milord, back to Hinks. Campos lays it off for Aparicio. Ruiz out to meet him, inside, Campos lays it off, Aparicio taken down cleanly, say the officials. Jose Botana having a word with the referee. Alvarado loses it. We take another look. You be the judge. Hinks ships it towards Milord. Whistle. I believe the ball was just over the line. And it was before Milord sent it towards goal. Panama closing in on Guatemala. Heavy pressure, a lot of energy in the attack. All that's missing still is a goal. Mackenzie inside, Campos gets it back. Mackenzie deflected and cleared down the field by Guatemala. Mackenzie, shot with the toe, shouts for a handball, but looked like it hit Sandoval in the stomach. These teams, the 20th and 22nd teams to punch tickets to the World Cup respectively. Panama had the second quarterfinal of the day, so they were the 20th to enter the World Cup. Guatemala rounded out the day of quarterfinal play a couple days ago. They're the 22nd team in. 2 more spots up for grabs later this month. Mackenzie lays it off. Shot blocked. Sandoval the other way with help. Over to Ale, out wide. Ale's shot off the post. Well struck. Those 2 playoffs to decide the last 2 spots will be contested between Iraq and Thailand, and then Lebanon and Vietnam. After that, the field will be set, and the stage will be set for the 2021 FIFA Futsal World Cup later this year in Lithuania, just about 3.5 months away from it. Castrillon back to Mackenzie. Shot is blocked again by Sandoval. Mackenzie sticking with it. Umes misses as he tries to clear. Mackenzie with it as Del Rosario uses him. Across, saved by Reyes. World Cup set to start September 12th and carry through to October 3rd. Will be hosted at 3 separate venues in Lithuania. Panama, Guatemala, 2 of the Concacaf representatives, and the other 2, Costa Rica and the United States, who will meet later on tonight 8 p.m. Eastern Time for the Concacaf Futsal Championship Trophy. Quick throw the other way from Reyes. Milord clears it. Timeout as the buzzer sounds, and Santizo trots back to the bench. Captain today for Guatemala. Scored in the second extra time yesterday, did Santizo, to put Guatemala up. But less than a minute later, they conceded against the United States and lost in penalties. A look at the goal from Alvarado. Came not even 2 minutes into this one on a bad giveaway from Panama. His third of the tournament. A look at Alan Aguilar. Captain for Guatemala in each of the first few matches. 31-year-old winger was tied for the team lead with 3 goals. Heart and soul of this team, unable to take part in today's match. Mackenzie being cooled off on the bench. Jaime Ladonio waving the towel. The trainer rubbing an ice pack on the back of the head. Alvarado, the goal scorer, knocked away by Castrillon. Chip towards Alvarado from Santizo. But again, Castrillon there to defend against Alvarado. Peñalosa still has not made a save for Panama. Shots from Guatemala have either missed the target or gone into the target. Ruiz, again, wide. Castrillon forward, gets it back. Castrillon has an option outside, but he couldn't get it out to Rivas. Chances like that for Panama starting to rack up, where they had attacking opportunities but were unable to even get a shot off. Good group defending by Guatemala. But you get the sense that Panama will break through at some point. Too much pressure being heaped on Guatemala defensively. Castrillon takes it away. Tries to cut past Santizo, he can't. Milord taps it over to Rivas for the shot, and it's wide. Again, as I just mentioned, heavy pressure against that Guatemala back line. Chances starting to mount for Panama. They've only gotten 2 shots on target, both saved by Jose Reyes, but plenty that have missed wide or high. And that Guatemalan back line has blocked a few shots as well. It's not for a lack of opportunity for Panama. The quantity is there, the quality has not been. .142 remaining in this first half. Third place match at Domo Polideportivo in Guatemala City. Joe Malfa here with you. 2 more games today. This one and the championship game later on at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Shot saved by Peñalosa. Coverage for that later game will start at 7:50 p.m. Eastern Time, as we wrap up what has been a very exciting week here in CONCACAF. All eyes in the futsal world have been on this region. And the nations involved have put on a show, putting the rest of the world on notice that the sport is growing here, and these teams will contend in the World Cup later this year. Not going to be easy outs in the group stage by any means. We've seen signs of it in the past. Panama broke through to the knockout stage in 2012. Costa Rica did it in 2016. Trending in the right direction. Looking forward to that tournament later this year to see how Concacaf fares. Panama, Guatemala, Costa Rica, and the United States will be the 4 representatives. And we have another timeout down on the field. Less than a minute remaining here in this first half. Guatemala leads 1-0 on the goal scored by Roberto Alvarado. Peñalosa has made 1 save for Panama. Jose Reyes has made 2 for Guatemala. Again, not for a lack of shots, just both teams have had trouble getting the shots on frame, have not forced the goalkeepers to make many saves. Jose Botana, the Venezuelan, who took over in the last year for Panama in one huddle. Jaime De Leon instructing his men in the other. We've certainly missed the fans in this tournament at this historic venue. But the Guatemalan fans from around this nation outside these doors certainly willing their players from their homes, hoping to end up on the medal stand later today with a 3rd place finish. Mackenzie trying to put a dent in that. And Reyes makes a save out for a corner kick. Quickly taken and quickly blocked out for a kick in with 29 seconds remaining. It was around this time yesterday that Panama earned a kick from the 10-meter mark and took a 1-0 lead on Costa Rica into the half. Guatemala not nearly as physical as Costa Rica was, committing fouls. 13 seconds remaining. Possession goes back to Guatemala. No, a late decision instead to give it to Panama in the corner. Ortiz to Mackenzie for a shot that fizzes wide. Reyes looking downfield. And I believe he stepped out of the area on the throw. That time he gets it right. Thrown down to Humes. 5.4 seconds remaining. Can Guatemala double its lead at the death of the half? Shot blocked. Humes to take the kick in again. Lays it off, shot again by Ale. Or thought he was going to shoot at least. Faked me out, tried to chip it to Humes in the corner. And the buzzer sounds on the first half. Tightly contested in this third place match between Panama and Guatemala. And it's the host nation, Guatemala, with a 1-0 lead, courtesy of Roberto Alvarado. Back in a few moments with highlights from the first half. First half in the books between Panama and Guatemala. Here in the third place match of the 2021 Concacaf Futsal Championship. In the early going, Guatemala had some control. They started the match with possession, kept it, and then once they gave it back to Panama, Panama had this early mistake, and Alvarado capitalized for his third goal of the tournament. Not even 2 minutes into the match, bad giveaway from Hinks. Alvarado pokes it just past Peñalosa, and that would be it. There would be no more goals scored in the half. Not for a lack of chances, both teams had some. This ball went into the net, but it was an indirect kick that did not get touched a second time. Only a few saves had to be made in all. 3 from Jose Reyes, 1 from Jaime Peñalosa. Reyes for Guatemala, the more active of the two goalkeepers for much of the half. Only 1 save for Peñalosa, but don't let that fool you. There were opportunities for Guatemala. Some high, some wide, some off the post. But the better of the chances came for Panama. And they had more of them as well. There's the lone save from Peñalosa. And that's it. You see, not a ton from the first half. A 1-0 lead for Guatemala. Things sure to ramp up in half number 2 coming up in a few moments. What does half number 2 have in store? Guatemala, a 1-0 lead over Panama here in the third place match at Domo Polideportivo in Guatemala City. Second to last match overall in the 2021 Concacaf Futsal Championship. One of these two teams will join Costa Rica and the United States on the medal stand. That match to come later today at 8 p.m. Eastern Time for the championship. Joe Malfa here with you for this one, and we'll be later as well for that one. As a tremendous week in CONCACAF comes to its conclusion. Roberto Alvarado scored early in the first half to give Guatemala the lead. Panama has controlled much of the play, though, since then. Half number 2 underway. Panama in the all red going from right to left and trying to get a goal back. The clock has not started moving yet. I don't know if anybody's realized it. There's the buzzer. So we will have another kickoff coming up in a moment. Joshua Wilkins operating the clock today. Well, a couple times we've seen that in this tournament, they've gone for another kickoff, but this time just a drop ball and 12 seconds off the clock. Mackenzie. Back for Milord, across for Ortiz. As Panama builds out of the back, looking to draw level against Guatemala. They've had the opportunities to do so. Milord shoots it, blocked on the way in by Edgar Santizo. Wearing the captain's armband today. Alan Aguilar out. Jonathan Arevalo out. Campos blocked again by Santizo. We have not seen Jose Mancia since he left injured until he began this second half. He missed about 12 minutes of play. Campos, Mancia defends. Mackenzie's shot is wide. So good to see Mancia back out there now starting this second half. He left injured earlier with an ice pack on his left leg. Alvarado left earlier with a head injury. Both have re-entered the match, and they're both out there on opposite wings right now. Alvarado laid off to Ruiz. Now Santizo forward towards Alvarado, but behind him. Taken by Ortiz. Ortiz's shot is blocked by a sliding Alvarado, who gets up pumped about it. Intensity high to begin this second half. Third place on the line. Mackenzie back to Ortiz. Panama starting the second half the way they ended the first, in control. Given away to Ruiz. Alvarado there with him. Forward to Alvarado, laid off for Ruiz, and he puts it wide of the open net. This is around the juncture of the first half where Alvarado got his goal. Almost deja vu here in the second half. But Panama averts the crisis. Still down just one and nearly level. Big save, Jose Reyes. That's his fourth. We've already seen a couple of block shots in the second half by Santizo. Guatemalan back line putting their bodies on the line, not even allowing some shots to get through to Reyes. Ortiz, guarded by Alvarado closely. Back for Milord. Laid off for Campos, and Milord is taken down as he makes the run in. Free kick coming for Panama. First foul of the half against Guatemala. And I say that to make a mental note because Panama has had 4 goals scored from the 10-meter spot after foul accumulation. All have been scored by Carlos Perez, who we have not seen in this match yet today. He is available. He is their specialist when it comes to kicks from the second penalty mark. Tournament best 7 goals, 4 of them have been in that situation, as Panama has done a great job all tournament long of drawing fouls and physical play. Ortiz shot saved by Reyes. Mancia lofts it all the way down. Very active early on in this second half, Jose Reyes, as Panama presses for that equalizing goal. Ortiz has it knocked away by Santizo. Jose Botana looking to push the right button to get his team back into this. Mackenzie working against Campagnac, beating Campagnac, shooting blocked on the way in. Jose Ale now up to Alvarado the other way, cuts in, Alvarado just wide and high. Alvarado has been the engine behind this Guatemalan attack and mostly been waiting for counterattacks today, continuing to feed him passes and crosses. He scored once. He's had other opportunities like that and now blocks a shot himself. Mackenzie taken down. There's the second foul of the half against Guatemala. Just 2.5 minutes into it. And a yellow card to boot against Fernando Campagnac. Late contact after the ball was already gone. Mackenzie. Milord has it blocked by Enriquez. Taken down the wing by Ortiz, kept it in, earned the corner. Ortiz takes. Cross from Mackenzie. Campos had it cleared away before it got to him. 3 minutes into the second half. 3 very intense minutes. Opportunities for both teams. And 2 fouls against Guatemala. They cannot afford to put Panama at the second penalty mark. Inside Campos, shot blocked on the way in again. Guatemala defending with everything they have. 5 saves for Jose Reyes. Probably double that. Blocked by his teammates. That one gets through but misses the target. Santizo has been putting his body on the line. Here we saw Sandoval putting his body on the line. Jose Ale has been in the thick of things as well, keeping shots off their goaltender. Giveaway by Alvarado. Ortiz with it to Mackenzie. Inside, gets it back and out again for Ortiz. Alvarado has been the beneficiary of a bad giveaway at the back. This time he gave it away. Ensuing possession for Panama. Mackenzie! Well struck volley. But again, another shot that does not test Reyes. Santizo lays it off for Alvarado and makes the run down the middle, but it's laid off for Humes. Now sent forward, but Santizo had checked back already. Ortiz cuts in, lays it off for Del Rosario, gets it back, leaves it. Mackenzie thought about a shot, plays it in for Castrillon, the turn, the shot, the save from Reyes. McKenzie to take the corner. Ortiz shouts skyward after mishitting that one. Jaime Peñalosa on the other end has still made only one save. Shots from Guatemala have been few and far between as they've sat back and been looking to counter against Panama. One was saved, one went in, and the others have missed a target. Quiet day for Peñalosa, but he is still on the losing end of it right now after the early goal from Roberto Alvarado. Castrillon. Back to McKenzie. He's been out there for the entire half so far, running things at the point for Panama. We saw him being cooled down by the trainers and his teammates earlier in the first half as Ortiz misses the target. Umes makes the run, but Peñalosa there. Changes coming from Guatemala. Kick in quickly taken. McKenzie has it blocked by Mancia. McKenzie gets it back from Ortiz. And again. Pressured. Mancia earns the kick in. Ortiz and McKenzie indecisive, went back and forth between each other. Meanwhile, Guatemala continued to gain ground on them and won possession. Campagnac. Alvarado. Mishits it. Taken by Castrillon. Turning. Has Del Rosario with him and uses that option. Shot is saved by Reyes. Del Rosario has not scored since the opener against Suriname. Reyes makes the save. McKenzie to Del Rosario once more. McKenzie inside. Castrillon. Can't turn past Campagnac. Castrillon steps in, gets the worst end of it. No foul called. Botana not happy about it. Thought that was foul number 3 in the half against Guatemala. Would have only meant they have 2 more to give before Panama would get a shot from the second penalty mark. And they've been deadly from 10 meters away. 4 goals for Carlos Perez, 4 of his tournament best 7 so far. And now a foul goes against Panama. McKenzie finally gets a break here in the second half, having a chat with Botana. Animated chat between the two on the bench. Chipped forward. Sandoval across, header wide. Campagnac had a chance. You haven't seen too many headed efforts towards goal. Campagnac had a chance to double the lead. Now Castrillon the other way. Rivas battling forward against Campagnac, wins the kick in. Ortiz. Back for Del Rosario, now Rivas. Castrillon battling. Guatemalan kick in. Will that goal in the 2nd minute from Roberto Alvarado hold up in this one? Still a ways to go, but that clock dwindling down. 12:24 to go in this match. At least in regulation, I should say. We've already seen 3 matches go to extra time and then penalties. Inks sends it forward. Someone in the bench area was shown a red card for Panama. Enriquez across to Santizo. Abrego fighting against Campagnac, who wins that battle, and it's saved by Peñalosa. It's his 2nd save of the match. Was going high anyway, but couldn't take any chances. And I believe Botana was also just dismissed from the sideline. That's 2 staff members now for Panama who will not be out there for the remainder of this one. Unhappy with the way this match has been officiated down the stretch. Del Rosario with the block. That is how Jose Botana's tournament will end on the sideline for Panama. The Venezuelan took this team over not too long ago, relatively speaking, and has put his stamp on this team. And aspirations of winning this championship for the first time in their history. Had a lead with 10 minutes to go against Costa Rica in the semifinal, lost 3-1, hoping for a 3rd place finish here. And now foul number 3 is called against Guatemala. Apolinar Galvez, the assistant coach for Panama. Del Rosario shot. Abrego could not tilt the foot properly to get that one on frame. Santizo to Jumes. And now lofted forward. Peñalosa makes the grab. Rolled out quickly. Del Rosario takes his space. Past another defender to Hinks. Deflected. Jumes comes away with it. One back by Del Rosario. Another nice move. Del Rosario still with it. Saved by Reyes. Pablo Gonzalez quickly shed the penny. Set the check in for Guatemala. Abrego loses it. Kick in for Panama. Excuse me, for Guatemala. Castrillon set the check back in. Hoping to provide that spark for Panama as we're near the halfway mark of the second half. Santizo to Ruiz. Over for Mancia and back again to Ruiz. All the way back now for Reyes. Headed up towards Abrego. He's taken down by Gonzalez. Abrego is hoping the fourth foul would be called there. Santizo chips it to Ruiz. Working on Hinks, gets it into Gonzalez. Ortiz now, can't find Castrillon. Santizo with it, dispossessed. Rivas, 3-on-1 brewing. Rivas to Castrillon, across, opportunity converted. Panama executes the counterattack perfectly. In the end, it's Abdiel Ortiz with the goal. And it's 1-1 here in the third place match. Brilliantly executed by Panama. From Rivas to Castrillon, across to Ortiz. Instead of rushing it with the first time shot, took a touch and slotted it home. It's been brewing for a while for Panama. And they've finally drawn level. Ortiz's fourth goal of the tournament. 2 against Suriname, 1 against Canada, and now 1 here. Panama perhaps hoping to flip the script of what happened to them yesterday. Yesterday they were winning 1-0 till the halfway mark of the second half, then gave up 3 goals in 3 minutes. Other way, shot, Peñalosa has it trickle in. Scratch that. It's Guatemala who gets right back into it. Enriquez with the shot. Peñalosa got some contact, but it trickles in. Enriquez's first goal of the tournament for Guatemala. How quickly things can change in this sport. I was just saying that yesterday, Panama saw their 1-0 lead turn into a 3-1 deficit right around this same time of the game. Trying to flip the script and maybe score a few quick ones against Guatemala. And just moments after leveling at 1 goal apiece, they concede again to Guatemala, who's back in front. Courtesy of Enriquez's first goal of the tournament. High pressure from Panama. Guatemala trying to get out of their own half. And that'll help their case, as Ortiz goes through the back and commits the foul. 3 fouls against Guatemala, 2 against Panama. Mackenzie. Guatemala beat Cuba 3-2 in the third place match 5 years ago in the 2016 tournament. Panama came in third place the year before that. And Panama lost the third place game back in 2008. So each of these teams, at least one of them, have represented in the third place match each of the last 3 tournaments, now squaring off in the third place match this time around. Panama snapped its pattern of improving by 1 position each tournament. 5th place in 04, 4th place in 08, 3rd place in 2012, runners up in 2016. Best they can do is 3rd place, but right now staring at a 4th place finish unless they can get this goal back in the last 8:39. Guatemala hoping to avoid their pattern. They've slipped 1 spot in each of the last few tournaments. They won in 08, Runners up in 12, third place in 16, hoping to avoid a fourth place finish here. Through Mackenzie, Campos, and out. Guatemala's possession. Thrown all the way down. Contact between Peñalosa and Gonzalez. Both of these teams completed the first objective of this tournament, which was make it to the semis and punch a ticket to the World Cup starting in September in Lithuania. Campos, shot, wrong side of the netting. Second objective, of course, is to win the whole thing, which Costa Rica and the United States will have a chance to do later. But you don't want to leave empty-handed. A lot of pride on the line here in the third place match. A final, highly intense competition to help get you ready for the World Cup. I'm sure these teams will have matches to prepare for that tournament. But it's hard to replicate this type of intensity against a regional rival in a match that has a medal on the line here at Domo Polideportivo in Guatemala City. Joe Malfa here with you for the action. Championship match to follow. Coverage starts at 7:50 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 minutes before the match's kickoff at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Costa Rica going for a third straight championship, fourth overall. The United States going for their first title since '04 and third overall. Mackenzie in space. Mackenzie saved by Reyes. Gonzalez working on Ortiz. Ortiz with it. Goes to ground, maintains possession. Mackenzie forward. Milord keeps it in all the way back to Peñalosa. At what point will Panama fly the goalkeeper? Ortiz. Both teams weren't sure what was going on. Guatemala restarted play, and Alvarado was dispossessed. Guatemala, when they were down in their quarterfinal match, they got the extra attacker out there very early. Granted, they were down 2 goals. They got Santizo out there as the extra attacker with 9 minutes remaining. That shot blocked by Milord. Guatemala scored their first goal on the road back in that game against El Salvador right around the 6-minute mark. And they kept the extra attacker out there to keep that momentum up. How bold will Panama be in trying to get this goal back? Down towards Peñalosa. Gets a hand to it. Campagnac with it. Was looking to feed Sandoval in front. Always very curious to see when coaches decide to get that extra attacker out there. Yesterday, when the U.S. faced Guatemala, they were down a goal with about 4 minutes left in the second extra time and had never put the extra attacker out there. It paid off. They got the goal anyway shortly thereafter. Maybe it comes here. Rivas shot blocked. Shouts for handball awarded. But was it just outside the area or in? It was in. Penalty coming for Panama. The shot from Rivas, clear as day. The handball in the box by a sliding Marvin Sandoval. And a player we haven't seen today. Carlos Perez, the specialist for Panama. He has 7 goals in this tournament. 4 have come from 10 meters away on kicks that were awarded to Panama due to foul accumulation. This one, just from 6 meters away. The Golden Boot leader has 7 goals, looking for another that will then match the number on the back of his jersey. A chance to draw level at 2 goals apiece with 5:57 remaining in the third place match. Carlos Perez against Jose Reyes. Perez, the approach. Perez converts. 2-2 between Panama and Guatemala here in the third place match. 8th goal of the tournament for Carlos Perez. No chance for Reyes, who gets the wrong way. Now for Panama, a matter of doubling down on this as opposed to conceding as they did a few moments ago. They drew level at 1 goal apiece and gave up another goal to Guatemala within a minute later. Peñalosa taken off by a trainer behind the play. Jaime Lodonio quickly checks in. No idea what happened there. It was something while the penalty was being taken. Pressure from Del Rosario. Can Panama capitalize on this momentum? I posed that same question about 5 minutes ago after they drew level at 1 goal apiece. And within a few seconds, they then conceded to Guatemala. Reyes. He's made 9 saves for Guatemala. Peñalosa has made 2 for Panama. Out of the game now with Lodonio checking in. Pressure from Rivas, late whistle. Rivas wags the finger he thought he was in. Certainly came through the legs and made contact with Enriquez. Proper call. Ruiz gives it away. Hinks to Ortiz. Roberto Alvarado started the scoring all the way back in the first 2 minutes of the match. Abdiel Ortiz equalized halfway through the second half for Panama. Guatemala took a 2-1 lead less than a minute later, courtesy of Walter Enriquez. And then just a couple of moments ago, Carlos Perez from the penalty spot equalized at 2 goals apiece, his 8th of the tournament. 5 of the 8 have been kicks from the mark. 1 from the penalty spot, 4 from the second penalty mark. Santizo to Ruiz. Gonzalez can't get to it. Hinks does, but Rivas wasn't looking. These are the types of games Guatemala has been playing all tournament long. All of them tight down on the wire. They won 4-2 against Dominican Republic, 4-3 against Trinidad and Tobago, beat El Salvador in penalties, lost to the U.S. in penalties. Hinks turning. Castrillon, back for Rivas. .45 remaining. Possession back to Panama. Shot wide from Mancia. Mackenzie, forward to Castrillon. Ricardo Ledesma checking in for the first time. Castrillon takes a shoulder to the face from Sandoval. And a yellow card going to be issued to Castrillon for simulation, apparently, in the exchange. Or perhaps it was something he said. There was nothing simulated about that. He caught a shoulder to the side of the face. Shot from Mackenzie. Castrillon couldn't turn. Under 3 to play. Campagnac nearly takes it down. Mackenzie just sends it all the way down. Campagnac, couple of step overs. Shot blocked. Ledesma, we have not seen much of him all tournament long. Ledesma. Sandoval cleanly takes it away, goes the other way. Across for Campagnac, saved by Lodonio. Big save in relief of Peñalosa. Ledesma takes it into space. Ledesma still with it. Inside, across, and cleared from the middle of the box. End-to-end action. Intensity picking up a few notches down the stretch. Mackenzie's shot wide. If you had any questions about how much these teams wanted to win that third place bronze medal, of course they'd rather be playing later. Of course they know they're already qualified for the World Cup. But the competitive juices take over with pride on the line against a rival nation in Concacaf. And it looks as if Guatemala is about to go very bold and go all out for this win right here in regulation. You see in the huddle, donning that designated keeper kit, number 5, Edgar Santizo. How soon will he check in? Will they go for the extra attacker in a tie game? It worked for them against El Salvador, but granted in that match they were down 2-0 and needed the extra man out there to help them draw level with 34 seconds remaining. For now, it's Reyes stepping back out onto the field. Santizo, though, standing right next to head coach Jaime De Leon, set to check in at any moment, perhaps. Sent down the field. Out for a kick in favor of Guatemala, and now the change happens. Santizo out there. Extra man for Guatemala. Santizo. With Ruiz. Over to Alvarado. Back to Ruiz. Alvarado again. He's scored all big goals for this team. Ledesma clears it away. Alvarado scored the equalizer against El Salvador, and he scored an extra time. Today he had the opener, and he scored the decisive kick from the penalty spot in the win over El Salvador. Will he factor into the storyline again? Santizo also scored in the second extra time last night against the United States. And Santizo will run back to the sideline to let Reyes get back out there. Jose Reyes has made 9 saves by my tally. Mackenzie's attempt to send that forward is knocked out for a kick-in. Possession given away by Panama. Santizo will surely run back out there now, entering your picture with the ball. Back and forth between he and Ruiz. Panama has an empty net to shoot at if they win the ball cleanly. Alvarado across to Santizo. Ruiz eyeing the Panama defense. Across to Enriquez and back for Santizo. Alvarado. Santizo. Minute remaining. Santizo's shot. Lodonio quickly the other way. Santizo is out. Reyes is in. Rivas. Under a minute to go. Hinks across to Mackenzie. Mackenzie lays it off for Hinks. Buzzer sounds. Timeout on the field. Remember, Panama is without head coach Jose Botana. He was ejected from the sideline earlier in this half. .39 seconds remaining in regulation. Taken down. Hinks. The shot inside, it trickles into the arms of Reyes. Ruiz forward to Enriquez. Alvarado sent forward. Opportunity for Panama, dying seconds, 15 left. Hinks, the shot saved by Reyes. Will we have extra time? Hinks steps in, shouts for handball, no call. And the buzzer's going to sound, marking the end of regulation. Panama 2, Guatemala 2. Just a formality now, unless they could pull off something incredible with 1 second left from a kick-in this deep in their own half of the field. Guatemala has played extra time on back-to-back days. Both matches going to penalties, winning one, losing the other. And there's the buzzer. We take a quick break. Back for the start of extra time in a moment. Panama 2, Guatemala 2 in the third place match. Captains meet again for the coin toss ahead of extra time. Edgar Santizo for Guatemala. Edgar Rivas for Panama. The scoring started early in the first half. Roberto Alvarado. Abdiel Ortiz had the equalizer about halfway through the second half. Walter Enriquez scored a minute later to put Guatemala back on top. And then with roughly 6 minutes remaining, Carlos Perez converts a penalty after a handball in the box to level the scoreline at 2 goals apiece. That's where we stand here in extra time. Joe Malfa with you. The action taking place at Domo Polideportivo in Guatemala City. Third place match of the 2021 Concacaf Futsal Championship. Guatemala came in third place in 2016. Panama, third place in 2012. In 2012, Guatemala were the runners-up, and in 2016, Panama were the runners-up. So these two have exchanged places the last 2 tournaments, now squaring off in the third place match. Only one will end up on the medal stand with Costa Rica and the United States. Which will it be? 10 minutes of extra time. 2 5-minute extra time periods. Penalties to follow if necessary, if still tied. We've seen Guatemala go to penalties on back-to-back nights. Panama went to penalties against Canada in their quarterfinal matchup. So these teams, no strangers to go in the distance. Guatemala lost last night in the 7th round of penalties against the United States. They won 4-3 in the 5th round on penalties in the quarterfinals against El Salvador. Panama won 4-3 in penalties against Canada. Ortiz, the shot wide. Chipped up and cleared down by LA. Mackenzie to Ortiz, one of the goal scorers for Panama, and he just sends it down clear. Reyes has made 10 saves. Ladonio has made 1 in relief of Peñalosa, and it was a massive save at that. Mackenzie gets it out of the corner. Now gets the return pass down the wing. Mackenzie against Reyes, chips it wide. Santizo to get it back in. Sends it forward. Mancia. Into the arms of Ladonio. Hinks lays it off for Ortiz. 3:05 to go in the first extra time. When Panama faced Canada, there were no goals in extra time. In both of Guatemala's extra time matches, we saw both teams score a goal. Guatemala scored first against El Salvador, but they gave up that lead less than a minute later. Guatemala scored first in extra time against the United States, but gave up that goal a minute later. Ortiz, the shot, saved by Reyes. The other way, Santizo looking to go quickly, but now slows it down, does not have the numbers with him. Santizo across to Alvarado. He has one of those extra time goals for Guatemala. It came in the El Salvador game. Santizo has the other from last night across to Mancia. Ladonio with it. Back for Ortiz with Hinks. Down to Hinks. Tried to lay it off for Del Rosario. Intercepted. Cognac taken down. Ortiz across. Nobody there to get a touch on it. A minute remaining in the first extra time. Hinks puts in a challenge. Ortiz with the ball. Chipped out to Del Rosario. Runner coming in. It was Rivas. Del Rosario apologizes after sending that one to the 15th row. Campagnac lays it off for Enriquez. Ale chipped it forward. Campagnac never made the run. Another 5-minute extra time period on the way. If still tied, penalties. Ortiz running by Ale. Half minute to go in the first extra time. Ortiz cuts in. Hinks to the ground in the middle of the field. Ten seconds to go in the first extra time. Ortiz takes his space and the shot off the crossbar. Rebound wide. What a chance for Panama. 4 seconds the other way. And Guatemala will just sit on it until the second extra time. Wow, right at the end of the first extra time. A great shot from Ortiz is off the crossbar. We take another look. The rebound was right there as well to be tapped in, but it took a last-minute hop. You could not get more upper 90 than that. It hit where the crossbar and the post meet. So we go to the second extra time, still tied at 2 goals apiece. If at the end of 5 minutes they're still tied, they'll go to penalties. Teams will just switch benches now. Fernando Campagnac has a yellow card for Guatemala. Abdiel Castrillon has a yellow card for Panama. I mentioned that because last night in the second extra time between Guatemala and the United States, a red card was issued to the United States with about a minute 30 left. It gave Guatemala an opportunity with an extra man, but they were unable to convert and they lost in penalties. Now that last night to Tomas Pondeca of the United States was a straight red. But just mentioning the 2 with yellow cards for you to keep in the back of your mind in case Campagnac gets physical for Guatemala or Castrillon does so for Panama as we begin the second extra time. Neither Campagnac nor Castrillon are out there for their respective clubs. Mancia looking to settle it for Alvarado. Will it be penalties for a third straight day for Guatemala? Remember, this is not the last game of the day. The championship will be decided. 8 p.m. kickoff Eastern time. Join us 10 minutes prior as we begin coverage at 7:50 p.m. Eastern time. Costa Rica and the United States. They'll both be on the medal stand. It'll be gold for one and a trophy, and silver for the other. One of these teams will join them and earn the bronze. Santizo across to Alvarado. Santizo through all the way to Lodonio. Panama, third place in 2012, runners-up in 2016. Guatemala, runners-up in 2012, third place in 2016. And now competing for third place this time around. Guatemala, one of the 3 nations to have lifted this tournament's trophy, came back in 2008. Panama still searching for their first championship, but they'll have to wait till at least 2024 for that. I'm sure they'd be happy to leave with a medal around their necks, though. That flight back to Panama will feel a lot longer if they leave empty-handed. Not totally empty-handed, a pretty nice consolation prize to have already gotten yourself a spot in the World Cup by virtue of making it to the Final Four. So this tournament would not be for nothing if they don't earn the bronze medal. That goes for both of these teams, of course. But once the competitive juices get flowing with so much pride on the line against a rival nation in Concacaf, a match both of these teams would love to win. Three and a half to go in the second extra time. Mackenzie chips it by Gonzalez. Mackenzie stumbles over the ball. Some maintenance down on the field. Castrillon back out there, as is Campagnac. Those are the 2 with yellows. They almost converge there. 11 in red, 2 in white. Ortiz in towards Castrillon, taken down. Flicked on to Castrillon. Ortiz out to Mackenzie, into Castrillon. Left for Mackenzie. Ortiz dancing past Ruiz. Castrillon loses it. Santizo over to Alvarado, working on Mackenzie and back to Santizo. Good idea from Mancia on the delivery from Santizo, but nobody made the run to the back post. Milord cuts back, lays it off for Mackenzie. Not on the same page as Milord, who cut in while the pass went outside. 1:44 to go before we head to penalties. Campagnac With it down the wing, loses it. To Campagnac, the shot! He finds the goal that Guatemala needs! Out of nowhere, just a quick counterattack to Campagnac. What a finish! Nothing Lodonio could do about it. On the ball up from Ruiz. One touch, and then the shot. Guatemala up 3-2. Campagnac could be the hero. Not much time left for Panama either as they try to get it back. Ruiz on the ground injured. That's the delay. Fernando Campagnac, that's his first goal of the tournament. Innocent looking attack, just a long ball in from Ruiz. Great touch from Campagnac, better finish after that initial touch. Will that be enough to put Guatemala on the medal stand? Mackenzie has that extra keeper kit on. 70 seconds for Panama to get that goal. I remind you, Guatemala in each of their last 2 extra time matches have scored, but then have conceded within a minute of that. Milord to Ortiz, across from Mackenzie. Mackenzie, the shot saved by Reyes. Open net, Reyes punts it down, and it's well wide. Milord. Deflected, almost in on the pressure from Sandoval. Panama has to get it back up the field very quickly. Mackenzie out there as the extra attacker. Throws it down to Campos, and Campos just grabs at the ankle to prevent Jose LA from shooting at the empty net. Take a look here, that left-handed grab of the ankle. A wise play from Campos. Santizo back, given away. 38.3 seconds. Panama has to go very quickly. Mackenzie gets it back. Mackenzie's shot is wide. Guatemala bench unhappy about something. .2 seconds remaining. Second extra time. Guatemala gets the goal from Fernando Campagnac. All the way down, headed towards Lodonio and saved. Mackenzie to check back out there now. Ortiz runs past the ball. 22 seconds. Mackenzie to Ortiz. Milord. Back to Ortiz and Mackenzie. 15 seconds. Mackenzie, Milord, Ortiz. They have to do something. 10 seconds. Mackenzie still with it. 6 seconds. Tries to get a shot off. Doesn't get through. Del Rosario knocked out for a kick-in. Last chance here. Del Rosario to Ortiz. Has to take a shot. He's not even going to get one off. The buzzer will sound. Guatemala finishes in third place on the late goal in the second extra time by Fernando Campagnac. What a match this was with the bronze on the line. And the host nation, Guatemala, finish in third place for the second consecutive Concacaf Futsal Championship. Back in a few moments with full-time highlights.